slave descendants have a unique linguistic heritage in comparison to every other immigrant group that came to this country. African slaves, when they were captured, were often isolated linguistically from others that spoke their own mother tongue while they were on the west coast of Africa. That linguistic isolation was also maintained on the ships during the Atlantic crossing. And as a result of that, not one indigenous African language has survived the Atlantic crossing intact. Once they got here, it was illegal to teach them to read and write. For hundreds of years, slaves were denied access to education. As a result of that, many of the linguistic stereotypes, many of the negative linguistic stereotypes that people embrace regarding African American English, dismissing it as, the language of someone who's being lazy or not attending to language, doesn't fully appreciate the linguistic isolation that slave descendants experienced is unlike any other immigrant group in this country.
The transatlantic slave trade. The legacy of colonization and the transatlantic slave trade profoundly shaped the linguistic and cultural landscapes of the African American diaspora, particularly African American Vernacular English, also known as Black English. By understanding the historical roots of Black English, the impacts of the transatlantic slave trade, and the post-colonial period, educators will be better prepared to foster inclusive, affirming, and effective learning environments. Spanning from the late 15th century to the 19th century, the transatlantic slave trade forcibly transported millions of Africans across the Atlantic Ocean to the Americas. This trade was characterized by the abduction, sale, and enslavement of African American men, women, and children who were transported under brutal and inhumane conditions, known as the Middle Passage. Upon arrival, they were forced into labor on plantations, in mines, and in households. The trade played a crucial and critical role in shaping the demographic, economic, and cultural landscapes of the America. Enslaved Africans, hailing from diverse linguistic backgrounds, were stripped of their native languages and forced to communicate in English. Despite this linguistic fragmentation, they creatively blended elements of their indigenous languages with English, forming the foundation of what we now recognize as AAVE. This process of linguistic adaptation was not merely a necessity, but a profound act of resilience, ensuring cultural survival in the face of systemic oppression. The Middle Passage, as part of the triangular trade route, was a harrowing journey where enslaved individuals were dehumanized and subjected to unimaginable suffering. This experience also served as a crucible for linguistic innovation. Isolated from their homelands and grouped with others from different regions, enslaved Africans developed new means of communication that blended African linguistic elements with imposed colonial languages. This blending laid the groundwork for the emergence of Black English in the Americas. In the Americas, enslaved Africans used language as a tool of solidarity and resistance. The development of AAVE was deeply rooted in the shared experiences of oppression, labor, and cultural reclamation. It became a linguistic marker of identity, allowing enslaved individuals to maintain a sense of community and heritage despite the dehumanizing conditions imposed by the transatlantic slave trade. Educators often face challenges when addressing linguistic diversity in classrooms, as biases rooted in colonial history continue to stigmatize AAV. By understanding the origins of Black English and the resilience and creativity of enslaved Africans, educators can adopt more inclusive teaching practices that affirm students' linguistic identity. By understanding the impact of the transatlantic slave trade, colonization, and post-colonial resistance on language, educators can foster a more inclusive classroom, improve teaching practices, celebrate linguistic diversity, and empower all students to succeed.
Hey, young blood, let me give you a tip. Use your white voice.
Man, I ain't got no white voice.
Oh, come on, you know what I mean. You have a white voice in there, you can use it. It's like when you pulled over by the police.
Oh, no, I just use my regular voice when that happens. I just say, back the fuck up off the car and don't nobody get hurt.
All right, man, I'm just trying to give you some game. You want to make some money here? Then read the script with a white voice.
People say I talk with a white voice anyway, so why ain't it helping me out?
Well, you don't talk white enough. I'm not talking about Will Smith's wife. I'm talking about the real deal, like this young blood.
Hey, Mr. Kramer, this is Langston from Regal View. I didn't catch you at the wrong time, did I?